the Cobblestone Lesson. Before we start, I wanted to take a moment to welcome each of you to a new community messaging platform called the OPSEC Minute Extended. If interest dictates, on Mondays we intend to continue using this space, text and posted videos, to share both a little OPSEC or Operation Security wisdom, along with an occasional Marvel team-up bridge that ties into other regulatory security disciplines and policies that our leadership and the Department of Army embrace. All right, my moment is up. Enjoy the new graphic announcement and let's dive into today's secure narrative. Sue. The aroma of Käsespätzle hung in the air as Jesse, a young specialist stationed at USAG Stuttgart, finalized his weekend plans. He was practically vibrating with excitement. A backpacking trip to Prague with some friends. He'd snagged a killer deal on flights. Seriously, how did he get it so cheap? And booked everything online. He thought he'd done his due diligence. Despite DoD regulations and the garrison commander's established policy, he hadn't bothered with the Foreign Travel Report, FTR. It's just Prague, he'd reasoned. Germany's right next door. What could possibly go wrong? It's not like I'm going to Siberia. Jesse's unit had recently completed anti-terrorist force protection training, led by the Garrison Anti-Terrorism Force Protection Officer, Mr. Luke Fralick, backed up by a couple of impressively stern agents from Army CI Stuttgart. He remembered the faces. All business, all the time. The discussion of vulnerabilities, and the relentless emphasis on reporting all foreign travel. He'd even attended a foreign travel brief delivered by the same CI agents, detailing potential threats and stressing the importance of situational awareness. He'd half-listened, doodling maps of potential pub crawls in his notebook and daydreaming about Czech beer. He also remembered Alonzo Edwards, the Garrison Command Security Manager, hammering home the Garrison Commander's policy regarding foreign travel reports during a recent town hall, a policy designed to track personnel movement and proactively mitigate risk. Alonzo had the kind of voice that could make a drill sergeant nervous. Mr. James Brooks, JB, as everyone called him, the Garrison OPSEC officer, had repeatedly warned about the seemingly innocuous act of posting travel plans online. Digital footprints, JB would say, adjusting his glasses, are invitations to those who wish us harm. Think of it as leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. For bad guys. Jesse had scoffed inwardly. He'd posted photos of his plane ticket and itinerary on social media, boasting about his adventure, complete with a selfie wearing a ridiculously oversized tourist hat. Prague, here I come. Wanderlust. Jak, Czech, please. Prague was everything he'd hoped for. Beautiful architecture that looked straight out of a fairy tale, lively pubs with beer cheaper than water, and a vibrant atmosphere. He quickly lost himself in the experience, sampling Trdelník pastries and attempting to learn a few phrases in Czech, mostly failing spectacularly. He relaxed his guard, convinced he was invincible. It was during a crowded tram ride while admiring a particularly ornate building that it happened. A subtle jostle, a momentary distraction, and then his wallet was gone, pickpocketed. Panic set in. The wallet contained his driver's license, credit cards, and, crucially, his passport. He reported the theft to the local police, a frustrating process involving a lot of pointing, gesturing, and a growing realization that his high school German was woefully inadequate. Days blurred into a stressful cycle of police reports, embassy visits that felt like navigating a bureaucratic maze, and frantic calls home to his mom, who immediately started planning a rescue mission. His friends, thankfully, were able to assist financially, but replacing a lost passport was a logistical nightmare involving mountains of paperwork and a lot of waiting. The Army CI Stuttgart agents, alerted by the missing FTR and, inevitably, Jesse's rather boastful social media posts, quickly located him and began assisting with the process. They were professional, but their initial briefing was pointed, delivered with the dry wit only intelligence professionals seem to possess. "Specialist," the lead agent said, raising an eyebrow. "Your lack of adherence to established security procedures directly contributed to this situation. Posting travel plans online and failing to file an FTR created an unnecessary risk. We could practically see the pickpockets circling your digital profile. Jesse felt a wave of shame, hotter than a plate of spicy goulash. He'd been arrogant, dismissive of the training he'd received, and now he was paying the price. He learned that the FTR wasn't bureaucratic red tape, but a vital tool for force protection. It allowed the garrison to account for personnel, assess potential threats, and provide assistance in emergencies. The agents explained how his social media posts could have been exploited to target him, not just for theft, but for something far more serious, gathering intelligence or even worse. Returning to Stuttgart, Jesse faced a board of inquiry. He was reprimanded for violating the garrison commander's policy and demonstrating poor OPSEC. While he wasn't facing criminal charges, the incident was, as one board member put it, permanently etched into the annals of your service record. The most impactful consequence, however, wasn't the reprimand. It was the dawning realization of his own recklessness. He understood now the importance of accountability, not just to the army, but to himself and his fellow soldiers. He'd put himself at risk and, indirectly, potentially compromised the security of others. He also learned a valuable lesson about the Internet. Everything is forever. Alonzo Edwards, the Garrison Command Security Manager, took the time to speak with Jesse one-on-one after the inquiry. "Jesse," he said, his voice surprisingly gentle, "this wasn't just about a lost passport. It was a lesson in understanding risk and your responsibility in mitigating it. Force protection isn't just something we do. It's a mindset. It's about thinking 2 steps ahead, anticipating potential problems, and taking proactive measures to safeguard ourselves." JB, overhearing the conversation, chimed in with a wry smile. "And maybe lay off the oversized hats. You were practically advertising yourself as a tourist." Jesse, humbled and shaken, took the lesson to heart. He became a vocal advocate for OPSEC within his unit, sharing his story as a cautionary tale, complete with a slideshow of embarrassing photos from his Prague trip. He understood now that following procedures wasn't about compliance. It was about protecting himself, his comrades, and the mission. The cobblestone streets of Prague had delivered a harsh but invaluable life lesson. He'd gone seeking adventure and found clarity, the kind that comes from understanding the real cost of carelessness, and he vowed, from that day forward, to always file an FTR, and maybe, just maybe, to rethink his social media strategy. What? Why are you still here? All right, if you stuck with us this long, we want to give you a huge shout-out for your patience as we dive into these extended storyboard formats. It's a fresh way to educate our team and connect with the community by sharing these stories about OPSEC and how it links to other security arenas, and not just checking the boxes. We are genuinely promoting our security programs in a way that aligns with Army regulations and leadership goals. Whether you enjoy listening to these stories or prefer reading a written version in our weekly emails, we want to hear from you. Maybe you are all about that annual online training or the formal briefings. Whatever your vibe, drop us a thumbs up or a comment. Your feedback really helps us know we're on the right path with our secure narratives. And if you have other suggestions or ideas, don't hold back. Use the ICE Interactive Customer Evaluation System to share your thoughts. We're all ears and ready to make things even better. So until next Mondays, OPSEC Minute Extended, keep those comments coming and stay engaged.